As we begin talking about some of the basic elements of social media, here are 3 essential questions that you should answer if you want to be successful with using social media. First, are you telling stories? And more specifically, what is your story? That is, what is the story of your business or your organization? People respond to stories. For your business to succeed, you should be telling stories using social media. So you want to think big picture, not details. How is the content that you're putting out on social media connected to your business and its overall vision? Does the content that you're putting out fit within the story, the narrative that you want to present? Now, telling stories takes some work, and you can't do a one-size-fits-all because the social media channels, such as Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, all have certain characteristics about them that you need to take advantage of. You have to do editing. Even when you create your story, you're going to have to edit it for the specific channels. And you're going to have to really be concise because social media cannot be wordy. You really have to think about moving beyond just typical marketing bullet points. You have to figure out some things that are going to engage your audience through your stories. It's not the same thing to tell stories as it is to do advertising. So when you're doing social media, you need to plan carefully, and you need to think in terms of having a social media calendar, that is, a schedule of when content comes out. And again, the stories allow you to emotionally connect with your audience. That's where you're going to get your best results. Now, the second thing is your content needs to be oriented towards people, and it needs to be from people to people. Who are the we of your company? Who are the people that you're going to involve in your social media? Your company or your organization may have a lot of people, or it may have a few people. If you're just using social media as a business or an organization without the personal context, then you're lacking something. People respond to people. And this means that you should use other contributors besides yourself, if that's at all possible. Sometimes you have to do training with them, and you have to develop a sense of trust that they're going to be using the social media channels that they're contributing to in a fashion that fits within what you're doing with your organization or your company. When you get questions through social media, it's really much, much more effective to answer the questions as one individual to another, and not just simply as the business. The third element of success is, are you listening? People expect responses on social media. So you need to respond, but even better, you need to anticipate what your audience wants by listening to it. And that means looking at all of the return engagement that you get through social media. And that would be what is being shared, what is being commented on, what is being reposted, things like that. And you can see through that what your audience is responding to. And this means also that you should set aside time specifically for impactful moments for customers. So when you're seeing trends that are coming through where people are asking things or commenting on things, be sure that you are responding to those. You should also be able to anticipate some of the questions, and you can actually create some scripts for responding. And this is particularly important when you have other members of your team that are responding through social media. If you have a cheat sheet, basically, of answers to common questions that can be worked from. Now, that's not to say that every one of the responses needs to be exactly the same, but it needs to have the same message. and do your research. So not only are you listening directly to your customers, your clients, or those that you're trying to impact with your social media, but you also need to do that research about your audience. And part of that research means studying what you would consider to be competing organizations or businesses. So, in summary, make sure you're telling stories. Stories appeal to people and are likely to be the most engaging. And when I say stories, I don't mean once upon a time sorts of things, but it's sort of the way that you present things. It's a personalized approach. Is your content aimed at the people you want to reach? Don't just spew out stuff just to do it. And are you listening to the people you're trying to engage and learning more about them? These three things will help you in your social media.